3 maybe? Oops. Okay. And, Carrie, I just want to apologize for on the agenda, somehow or the D on the word did not come out. I apologize about that. At any rate, so Henrietta, do you have a copy of the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so does anybody have any problems with the minutes from the June 13th meeting?
I move their adoption.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes are adopted as previously submitted.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So again, just housekeeping minutes thing, because I made the correction to the last set of minutes that was requested. And I noticed that Woody, you're listed as Robert Woodruff, and we refer to you in the meetings as Woody. And then and then your last initial was wrong in one place. And I'm just wondering if there is, do you prefer to be Robert? Or should we just list you as Woody in the members? I just
I
want
think
to
it-
simplify.
How about Holy Father? We'll start with Holy Father.
There you go. Good, thanks, Charlie. That's a good solution.
Is that what you
I thought
want?
you'd
No.
like that.
I think I'm listed in on the website as Robert. So let's go with Robert and.
Okay,
I do
so-
answer Woody. That's a nickname I've had all my life, but
Okay, that, I think then we'll just try to be consistent and there'll be less confusion. Good, cool, thanks.
Okay. So, Robert, Woody, would you like to comment on the zoning committee? Progress,
well, we've
subcommittee?
come to a place where I think the chair, Nick Solly and Janet, the secretary, are confident that we have something that's worth running it by the lawyer, which is always expensive, and so you don't want to overuse him. And so Janet did up a 7th rendering of the
Regulations.
regulations that we've been working on. And we all have a chance to respond to that and see if there's anything we feel is missing or misstated. And then it's gonna go to the
Mike says,
lawyer.
yeah, Mike
Mike
says,
says, so that's where we are. I think we're, knock on wood, coming to a closure.
of our part, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that goes to, then that goes to zoning. What's the,
Does it have to go to planning?
and planning, yeah, planning and zoning, yeah.
Do you have an idea when what the timeline is for that?
Who knows, this timeline was very, very long and extended, you know, we've been working on it a year, yeah,
Yeah.
for a year.
I mean, do you think like these would go before zoning and planning sometime in the fall, or do you think it'll be a winter by the time these new suggestions get made?
I think if it's okay with zoning, isn't the next step to go right to the select?
Yeah,
Right.
Okay,
So does,
Chris, do you have,
doesn't zoning refer to planning, so planning can say whether or not it's consistent with
With
the
plan.
MCD. If they vote yes, it's consistent, that's all good. If they vote no, it's not consistent, which I can't imagine, but if they did say it was not consistent with the MCD, then zoning could still approve it, but they would need a supermajority of 4-1.
thank
So
you,
that's-
Chris.
And I don't think it needs to go to selectmen. It's just a zoning regulation change, and every zoning reg change had to go to the selectmen.
I can't remember if it goes to a town meeting or something like that.
I don't, that only ordinances do, not zoning reg changes. So
Okay.
but I'm sure they would report on it because it's a significant
Sure.
change. but I don't think they need to vote on it.
But that's it.
I think.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
The trouble with working with somebody like Janet for so many years is you realize when she's gone, how little you know. And it's like, she was always like the reference, like, does this fly, is this accurate, whatever, and she would just understand so many things. So I think what the members of the committee have done is incredible amount of work, and it's good work. But the person who has really been underneath carrying everything is Janet, you know.
Yeah, she's put in an enormous amount of time and energy and expertise into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And led us very well.
It's
Exactly,
like Janet.
as vice, right. Okay, are there any other questions or comments about that? So hopefully we'll have multifamily housing regulations. And so we'll allow some multifamily housing in town, and then hopefully after that. Some people will want to build it in town. That's the next thing, you know, will anybody want to do it? But at least it will be possible, and it will, more than anything, probably. Provide for. Not capital A affordable, but more affordable, the middle.
Yeah.
Range. So that's a good thing. Okay, so the next thing, you know, we're working with the housing, the Washington Community Housing Trust. On trying to market the need for affordable housing and the need for our community to support it. Either, you know, financially or by donations of land. And so we've, you know, been working hard on that. You know, our publicity. I did write a piece for the selectmen's, where did I do, what did I do? Oh, for the selectmen's e-blast. I don't know if you all saw it, but it was, you know, another attempt. Did you see it? Yeah. Okay. If anybody wants a copy of it, anybody want a copy of this that I wrote? Really? Want to, yeah, you can. Henrietta or Shane?
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we've done in the last, since our last meeting. Michelle's been working with, Oscar and, Ted Bent. And why don't you show, oh, look, I can show you. They're working on a pamphlet for the Washington Community Housing Trust. So in this, we have, this is what it's going to somewhat look like. She's doing some editing. But what we hope to be able to do is print it. We do have the funds in our budget to print it. And so as soon as, you know, you're ready to do that, does anybody have a problem with us printing it? I
I'm
don't know.
looking
do we-
forward to it. I have a little report to make.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to do that too. Yeah, that. So it has something about the Riverwoods Apartments, the Church Street Apartments, and it has the board members listed. If you want to get involved, visit our website, meaning the Washington Community Housing Trust website, and a little bit of history, and also something about the Dodge Farm Apartments.
So who's gonna get that?
Well, we're gonna have it wherever we are. It'll probably be at the senior center, community place. Maybe we can have some of them there. Is there still gonna be a community day?
You know, I haven't heard. They were planning to reschedule possibly for the end of August. And no one has let me know if they've set a date. Let me follow.
Who would be, is that Jen? Bodie?
Well, Jen is Parks and Rec, and then Lisa is WBA.
Okay,
I spoke with Liz, last week maybe about it. I'll follow up, because it's the WBA and Parks and Rec.
yeah,
That we're picking a day. we spoke about it at the WBA breakfast 2 weeks ago. I think they were thinking the Friday of Labor Day weekend,
But nothing has
but
been,
there weren't enough votes. I guess they hadn't determined for sure, because there's been no notice about it.
Yeah.
So I'll follow
okay.
up, to find out.
Is this something we could mail out to the residents of Washington?
Suppose we could, but that would be quite expensive.
Yeah, I wonder if it would, I mean, how expensive it would be, but, I know that they give you bulk rates on mass mailings like this, especially when it's local, so I'm not sure exactly what it would cost. It might be worth at least checking out.
Yes.
I know what it would cost, because that's how we do the town newsletter, and it would cost, well, about $520 with mailing. And
Plus the printing.
no, mailing,
I mean,
and then
And
the
then
cost, and then we would have to print it, and I think it's 2,900 copy pieces, mailboxes that we have. And so we would just have to get an estimate for that. I was gonna do a small run to just have on hand for any time we go out in public, but certainly we could consider doing some kind of mailing. I would update that. So the Litchfield County Center for Housing Opportunity hosted the informational session about the fundraising for nonprofits and how to promote nonprofit for housing, affordable housing nonprofits, not just any nonprofit. And one of the first things they suggested is to enable online giving. And so I reached out to Ted and Bill and Anne Marie to set up a PayPal account, because right now they don't have that set up. We created a QR code bringing them to their website, but there is no way on their website to donate. So I would wait maybe until they got that in place. I think a mailing would be more effective if that were set up.
Yeah.
Maybe a few more things were in place. For the
to make it
trust.
easier for.
Yeah, and to make sure we're ready to go, Oscar's been working, he's got a whole bunch of Facebook posts ready to go. And we worked on a logo, since they don't really have one on their website, so we can be consistent in all of the sort of communications. But I need to get approval from Ted and Bill, or see if they'll let us come to a meeting, and we just haven't been able to connect on that, so it's all sort of waiting for their approval, since the trust
Okay.
is their own entity, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there anything that we can do to encourage that? I'll just call Ted or.
In the last email, they were sort of vague about the meeting. So let me follow up on that. I've
Okay.
been working on other things this
Okay.
last week and a half, so I have not followed up with them. So I can see if I can figure, I think I was maybe too vague. I just said, what is the best way to move forward? I didn't know if they wanted Oscar to come to a meeting and show what he has, or to set up a Zoom, or to just forward something. They said something vague about.
A meeting.
Let me, I don't think I heard from Bill, and Ted called me back. And then we've been playing phone tag, and he had some edits that he wanted for the pamphlet, so we haven't really nailed that down yet.
All right. Any other questions about that? Then we can pursue that. And see exactly how much it's gonna cost us to do that. And see, I think we do have the money in our budget to do that, if it be worthwhile. Thank you for the suggestion, Charlie. Any other comments or suggestions for promoting this issue? Why don't you comment about what you're doing?
I contacted the 6 houses of worship in town about being able to come and make an announcement in the form of kind of a little homily, which I think I sent a draft out to all of you, the substance of it.
Did everybody get a copy of that?
Or
I have,
litter bearers.
I'll get you.
Or something,
it's great, 4 litter bearers.
I heard back from 3 of them and I'm on the docket to show up at First Church on the Green and Salem Covenant during the month of August. And I'm also going over to St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Marbledale in September.
Great,
I did not hear back from the other 3. And I don't know if any of you belong to any of those 3 congregations, the Roman Catholic Church, Our Lady, and the Episcopal Church here on the Green, St. John's, and the Congregational Church over in New Preston. I don't know
okay,
if anybody on the commission belongs to any of those organizations, but
maybe we can contact them.
yeah.
If somebody else calls them, or
Of course, I could circle back, but
Yeah. You don't want to be,
I don't want to be
Be a
a
pest.
pest.
could never be a pest.
So just out of curiosity, because I remember at one point in like the town guide, one of the emails was out of date for contacts. Did you just kind of, did you have a list that you were working from?
No, I
that
went
you know was-
online.
Okay.
I went fishing,
Yeah.
for all their websites, and
Yeah.
everybody has a website. Now, whether they're up to date, I don't know.
Yeah, so that, so
And they're
we-
very particular about emailing. You've got to use their hoops to jump through, so I
Right.
did.
So we,
It's one of the Mellons church. Yes.
is she still at the New Preston congregation?
We can contact her.
Well, and I would think either Linda or Robin would possibly have contacts for the other ones, because I know they on occasion, or they used to meet.
Yeah.
or
I would
discuss.
guess they are the most active and
Yeah, those two are probably the most.
some on the pulse of the others.
Yeah, so they might have a better contact, so at least we could try to do that.
Well, those are coming up first of all, so I will certainly ask for their help after I
Yeah, good.
visit.
So I'm wondering if, do you think it'd be possible for Woody to have some copies of this by then? You know, to give to people.
Certainly, we could do like a small run,
Yeah.
50 or 100, just to
Yeah.
have some on hand. I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Would that be helpful
It would.
To have
I-
something?
I think that the sheet that
with
we
the
put
comments?
up on the employers, the comments of their own about how,
This one,
yes, bringing people in from far away is such a expense and a problem and a shame that
Yeah.
we don't have more affordable digs in town where people who work here could, you know.
Yeah.
I think it might be nice if you let us know when you're going to the different ones, because if a couple of people from the housing commission could maybe be there for questions afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think some of you belong to these places, so,
Well, actually, we've got church on the green well covered here.
yes, I think, you know,
when does that happen?
I am speaking there on the 6th of August, at First Church on Green. And then at Salem 2 weeks later, on the 20th of August, at their 10:15 service. And finally, at St. Andrew's Marbledale on the 17th of September. I don't have the time for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is great.
The only other handout, I was wondering if there. And I should do some work on this, but, the planning document, the 5-year planning document. I wonder if there's would be a way to summarize on both sides, one sheet. Some of their summaries, conclusions, and plans.
It's not a bad idea. We made copies of the plan for the community day event, so we can hand out the whole thing. which isn't that huge, but a one-page summary is probably a good idea. That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Well, and it's on the website, so we can always refer people back to it. If we create a QR
Good luck
code.
on getting this down to one
I
page.
know, I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
dense,
Yeah.
and concise document as it is, but
Well, the needs would be, the need for it, because,
I would say QR code might be the better shot, right? Like if you just had the QR code and people could scan it
yeah.
and then they would have it on their phone.
But if you put the QR code on something, it might be good to put it on like a one pager. It would, for full details, refer.
Oh,
here.
sure, yeah, that's.
You know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Not that it'll be easy, but
okay, so
maybe take a stab at
The teeny tiny print.
it. That, yeah, that'll really.
Okay,
come in.
so by August sixth, which is
Yeah, I don't know.
2 weeks away.
I don't know that that will happen. I'm away, but.
We can try.
Well, let me,
You wanna,
go to the website and look at it, study it, see what I can,
you have a copy, right?
I thought I had one, but I can always print another one
Well,
off.
I have the box of them up in my office. Let me see if I got an extra in my binder, but, I think the one I have is like my version that's written over. Yeah. Oh, no, it's highlighted.
I'll get another one from you, Michelle. Here. Did you wanna go through it and maybe?
Sure.
Yeah, and if you want to send, well, whatever you do, you would probably send to me anyway. Like if you figure out what you feel are the things to pull out, I can pop it into something with blue background and the logo and whatever.
All right, well, let me see if I can just turn this around the next day or two, and I'll call you or email you.
Okay.
Well, she's
I know, I'm
she's going
away
away.
next week, but I'll be back. Yeah, you know, I'll be back, and I can always run, especially for like August, that, you know, I can run 10 copies, 15 copies of that downstairs. No,
Why don't
here
Yeah,
in
I
the
don't think
building.
we need any more than that.
Yeah, so the following week, so you work on it next week, and when I get back,
Would you send it also to me?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, any other suggestions about marketing, the needs?
I wonder if we could ask their churches something on their residents. We're getting, you know, certain foundations.
I think, I think the need, certainly the need. Need for it. Anything else? Okay, so the Baldwin Hill project, moving along. It's gotten to the point where we know, and I think I emailed everybody that if we only have one house on it. Did I email it to everybody? Okay, yeah. Which, unfortunate. Yeah. Are you surprised, Chris?
Well, I haven't seen any of the site work or the existing conditions, so I don't know. And, you know, very often somebody, and Ken Harica, by the way, has a tremendous reputation. He's very
Right.
big engineer. Sometimes when engineers aren't as familiar with, as other towns, they might miss something. I don't think it hurts to share the information. You never know.
Yeah,
And there was a parcel that a client of mine, I've been told for 30 years, and one acre parcel was not buildable. You know, the stream running through it, it had some steep slopes, it had a lot of wetlands, and anyway, some very capable people figured out how to create. It's a very limited building area, the size of a house, that's it. But there was a house and there was a site for septic. Anyway, you know, so I'm always the eternal optimist, you know, just take a second look and maybe there's you know, another.
Have you seen the map?
I've seen them.
So when I asked Bill about it, when I ran into him at some point in the last couple of weeks, and he said that you can probably get another house or two on there, but it's very cost prohibitive because of the wetlands and the driveway and the right of way, and so they were just gonna go for one for now,
Yeah.
and because it just, you know, you're trying to build an
And
affordable
then-
house and you can only do so much site work before it gets out of, you know, becomes way more expensive.
That's a good
So
way
he-
to start it. And so if you have in an instant situation like that, you have, what is it, 4 acres?
Yeah.
Like 3.7
Something, yeah.
Yeah,
So if you define the lot that you want to develop and then show potentially where there could be others. So whatever you do on the one does not shoot yourself in the foot on the other two. Just leave that option.
yeah, which that part I don't know, I would assume that would be their thinking, cause he didn't say that they would rule it out forever and, you know, technologies or something could change, but. They were just gonna go for the easy one because the others were costly, the other two potential locations were costly.
Okay, and at the meeting that I was at, basically was stated that it was only appropriate for one house, so I don't know, that was last week,
Okay,
I don't know. And, Brad Stadito was going to look at it further to see about construction and that type of thing, and, he only had this small rendering of the map. Did you guys get the map? You,
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't, Shane. How about you, Henry? I thought I sent it to everybody. Did you get one? Yeah. So, so apparently there's an intermittent stream that goes through it, and plus it's apparently quite steep. And that is the reason
I see.
that's given.
Are there,
It just seems to me that with all the engineering things that go on, that there's a, you know, something might be able to be done more than
So
that.
are the other two lots on the other side of the stream? Like on this.
There's only, it's one,
Right, but the other two that they said,
I think what Bill was being very vague, he didn't say that they mapped out
okay,
more, there's a space for it, but he said it was so cost prohibitive, they just stopped.
gotcha.
They did not explore how to lay that out, was my understanding, which I understand, you know, once you get into. I think even just like crossing the stream to access the other part of the.
they were
it might
talking
have just-
about, well, we're not gonna build a bridge.
Right, so it's just cost prohibitive to get to the rest of the lot. And engineering, not just septic, but the driveway and the. You know,
The bridge.
traversing, the stuff, yeah, to get there, just was a lot of money, so. You know, there's a reason it was donated.
Yeah,
do we know if it mainly is a septic challenge, I mean, a leaching challenge, or?
I don't
that I don't know.
know,
In which
he
case,
was
you-
talking about more the
Consult
wetlands.
with adjoining properties to see if they're. Like, for a certain amount, be willing to,
To give,
well, that's how
That's true.
Riverwoods, was.
oh, because
solved
they
their
had to,
problem.
yes,
They had no ability to create their own septic system on that property, as I understand.
I think I do that. So it's on a neighbor's property?
It's under River Road, and so we're in a field on the other side of it, I think I
yeah,
read.
Ah, okay. I can visualize that. Oh. Okay.
okay, so that's where we are with that, and we'll see. where-
Judy, do they say what the maximum square footage of the house can be?
I don't believe that's there, although it's very hard to read this.
Okay.
Possible,
typically-
oh, here it is, possible dwelling. I think it's 20 by 30, 20 by 30 or 20, it's hard to read it. You'd have to look at a full size of this map.
Yeah, because they generally will restrict the size of the house depending on the septic issues that,
Yeah,
Woody mentioned. So I was just trying to get a sense if they were saying 1,700 square feet or 2,500 square feet, because that'll tell you a lot.
I think they have a footprint.
Bedrooms, not the size, right?
So what?
It's the number of bedrooms you can park for, not the square footage.
But also there's a footprint.
It's 2 bedrooms, so
The what?
you can't build a house with 1 bedroom
Right.
and have a 1 bedroom septic. The minimum size for a septic is 2 bedrooms.
Oh, really?
Then people will say, but they've got 100 bathrooms, and the response is, you've got 2 bedrooms, you can have all the bathrooms you want, there are only so many people in the bedrooms.
Which makes sense.
Really? Is that true? You can have as many bathrooms?
So
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's how many people could live
Well,
there,
that's true.
right? And bedrooms, and they're very specific about the bedrooms, it's gotta have a closet, and, you know, you can't.
Lots of bunk beds.
So just, there are different definitions on what constitutes a bedroom. There's, what zoning might say, what building might say, is what health might say. The only one that really governs things here is health.
Health,
There is a-
exactly.
Health doesn't care if it's, a closet. If you have a door and access to
The outside.
bathroom, Suzanne used to say, you can't believe where I've seen beds. Zoning would not agree with that, building department, agree, but health has a very constrained.
Thank you for that. Okay, so anyway, moving along, we, after our last meeting, Habitat for Humanity had another workshop. And there was at least one couple that was interested. I think that was it, that had come to it, but it was recorded
Well, there were
and
2 different parties of
Families, yeah.
people interested that were at the meeting in person, and 1 or 2 of the names online were not Habitat employee or associations. So there may,
so at least it reached a couple of people and it is recorded and I did refer to that in, the selectmen's notice. That it was recorded if anybody was interested or if they knew anybody that was interested,
I've sent
they-
it out.
they could.
One person who was interested but couldn't make it, the recording.
Oh, good.
And I haven't heard from Diana, if any of them have resulted in an actual application. I haven't checked in with her.
So that's where we are with, supporting Habitat for Humanity as well. But as I said, I didn't do the article in the selectmen's notices. And if we have a community day, we want to use that to, make a big splash about what we're doing. So I don't know whether you know, Shane, but we did, Henrietta and I, a couple of days sat in front of the market.
Oh, nice.
Trying to get people to, understand what's going on
Right.
and we did have people that stopped and we're,
Yeah.
Well, we're not collecting today. Yeah. So. I mean, we can do what we've done before. We just had a table and. We could probably do more, since we have more time if it happens, but we have to, come up with that.
Shane, you missed it, but Judy made the cutest little house cookies.
Oh,
to
yeah?
hand out, because the community day got rained out,
I had heard that.
which was really
Yeah.
sad. So she had house cookies to hand out, we had literature to hand out,
Yeah.
and posters made, we were ready to go.
Do you guys have it, but is there, we don't know if there's gonna be another.
I will follow up, I completely forgot about that, actually, moved on, so I'll follow up.
All right, let's figure out that. So we'll do that again. I mean, we'll sit there and try to. Have something that that will attract, because it's usually families that come to community day and, attract families and their parents and have something for the kids so that, we can spread the word, basically. And any other suggestions? Chris, do you have anything you want as a visitor, as our esteemed visitor over there? What?
Just listen.
Just. I do know that one of the things that Chris, you would like us, the town to do is to come up with a big budget to support affordable housing. Instead of, maybe keeping the mill rate down. I know that you have suggested that would be something to do, and I'm not sure how we could go about that, but maybe that's something we need to think about for the future. Encouraging the town itself to either purchase land if there was any available, or to support the construction of some affordable housing. Think about it.
So I would just say that all of the outreach, the articles, the standing of the market, the community day are keeping the topic on the forefront, and the
Yeah.
more we can do that, because putting a large chunk of money into the budget will require a significant amount of advocacy, I would say.
Yeah.
So this is building, the communication is building that. And whether you get people to write letter, because the selectmen start putting their budget together in January. So the fall, if that's really gonna be sort of the push to whether it's letter, I don't know exactly.
I think letters to the editor would help.
Going to meetings. Or letters of support that go to the selectmen before they start building the budget. So that the seed has been planted, or having the commission go to a selectmen's meeting, going to a board of finance meeting, I'm not exactly sure, but I know you can't just. Like in February, when it's practically set in stone, 11th hour, try to throw in a large number, because it'll muck up all.
Oh, no.
So
know that.
creating support around that idea.
Ahead of time.
And not just from the commission, but from the community. Maybe it's a petition. I don't know, but it's worth thinking about, but fall will be here soon. And then all of a sudden it's.
I did go to the finance, I did, well, online, I went to the last finance commission meeting, which was. Because we had a request to fund this last study. So I wanted to make sure that they were gonna be on board with that. And they did have questions, and I was able to answer them. So that was a good thing. Yeah, so going to these other meetings is a good thing. I agree.
So other than the CDBG funding, is there any kind of like grant funding, or foundation funding?
Well,
Out there for affordable housing?
yes, but
We have two pending out there.
yes. From federal and the state,
Federal and
or what, no, HCTC,
HTC, which is CHAFA, and it's a tax credit something.
yeah, so.
Yeah,
With the foundation, so they, there's money out there. That would also give to affordable housing, or is it just federal and state? The
I
private.
don't know, that would be a good question for Jocelyn. I know that's what she does, is try to help get projects together and funded. I know there's small, like, through Sustainable CT, I know the Falls Village, affordable housing, whatever their thing is called, I forget. Did a small matching grant to drill a well for one of their, so like, there's little things. I'm not aware of any larger. But that doesn't mean they're.
And that would be something the housing trust would have to do, correct? I mean, the commission,
Depends. Well, so so the CDBG and the federal through, Chris Murphy's office, that request were through the town on behalf of the trust. And I worked on them, so, but I mean, so, you know, if the commission finds something, it would be a partnership between the town, depending on which entity would be awarded the money, whether, like, the CDBG has to go through the town, so that it's the municipality applying. But the other one, it was the trust. But again, it's, and David Berto, who's, Housing Enterprises, is the consultant, he's been helping on all of those, he's aware of all of them. And keeps any funding options.
Yeah, he's very up on things and very helpful.
And
He
then,
knows how to go through it.
yeah, goes through the nitty gritty of it, that's what he does, so. And they're the reason we got. Even on board, you know, got that grant together for Chris Murphy's office, because it was like less than it was like a 9-day turnaround on that. And it was because they brought it to us and they said, hey, your project would be a good candidate, and he knew our project, the repair project of the trust. Because we already applied for CDBG grant.
And he goes to these meetings that, what's Jocelyn, I can never remember that.
And
The-
Litchfield County Center for Housing
Housing.
Opportunity.
Yeah,
COHA. It's a weird acronym.
she gets the meeting going, and then, but he's usually there, you know, to explain things and to move things along as well.
Well, that's for the regional.
No, he's at these meetings that we've been having.
Oh, for
With
Baldwin
Baldwin Hill.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
okay, I thought
Yeah.
you meant that.
Judy, I'm new to this, so this may be a question you all have discussed in the past, but has there ever been given any thought to proposing a small percentage fee added on to every home sale contract in the town?
Call it conveyance tax, and it's,
Not very popular.
well,
Or-
but it's a home chat, we already have one, you just earmark it. You just earmark that it goes towards the affordable housing fund. Or you can increase it, I mean, you know, I think it might be even in one of our potential goals.
Goals, the conveyance fee.
Just to talk about. You know, that's just one possible way.
So where does that conveyance fee go now?
To the general fund. And then we have money coming in, actually, I had a meeting with some people from Cornwall, they're trying to set up a housing fund like we have. And. So we have money allocated from the general fund into the affordable housing fund.
Yeah.
That's carried forward each year, so. But it's at the. I don't wanna say mercy, that's not really the right word, but you know, it was, we requested 50,000, it was 25,000, you know, it's the selectmen choosing a number, it's not like. 2% of the conveyance tax always goes towards this, you know, it's not a set in stone thing, so that wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Michelle, what's the total amount available right now?
I feel like it's like 280,000 is left, that's not earmarked for down payment assistance at the moment. I think, I'd have to look back. But, oh, well, and actually. July 1 was the new budget year, and so there should be a new transfer in, but I have to check on that.
It's not a chump change.
And
No, it's significant, it's enough to actually assist in a building of a house.
So Judy,
I just wanted to say something to Charlie about in goal number 1. Create first-time home buyer options under 4. No, wait a minute, that's not it. Where is it? I found something about the conveyance.
Well, we're trying.
I do
Okay.
know that
Implement,
there are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
consider a town ordinance that allocates a portion of conveyance fees collected to be deposited into the town's existing affordable housing fund.
That's a goal, but
Yeah, it says that the lead on that should be the Board of Selectmen, but maybe we need
a
to
lot
But
of.
we got-
talk, we gotta
Gonna ask
talk to the, yes. So thank you.
It seems to me that that's the ultimate way to really begin building up a sinking fund of some sort, where you're building up funds on a regular basis that you can then use to make major acquisitions.
It would be interesting, and I don't know, I guess we could ask the assessor? Not really sure,
How
but it
much-
would be interesting to see
say how
how
much
many
that is.
collected last year and to see if, you know, what percentage. You know, which way we got, because, you know, we were allocated 25,000. Would 2% of the conveyance fee have been more or less, like, we need those numbers before we ask,
Right,
just.
Well, we don't want it to supplement, I mean, to
Right, we
supplant
don't,
it.
and we don't want it to be less,
No,
right?
we want it
So,
to be in addition to that.
in addition, right, and which would be ideal, so it would be.
Substantially in addition.
Yeah. 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 Because also its goal is to regularly fund the housing commission. Portion of the funds in the housing commission should be allocated to the town's affordable housing fund, which it is now.
Well, it's
Um,
coming out of that fund, or it's coming out of the general fund.
that's what you're saying, right, all the money goes into the big pot and we're getting a slice. of it.
Right.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that's number 4. That's 3 and number 4. They're separate here in the plan. So we should follow through on that plan. I think that. Excellent. Okay, so between now and our next meeting, I'll find out that information. Would that be useful?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and actually. By proposing this town ordinance, it's just another way to bring the whole conversation to the forefront.
Yeah.
And to talk
Well, we
about
should-
that
yeah.
affordable housing fund. And the efforts to try to put significant money into it, so.
Okay. So I'll find out that information beforehand and then we can decide what to do with it.
So Michelle, you're saying that you were gonna ask how much money comes in on, with conveyance tax now? Is
Yeah, just to get kind of a history of the last couple of years, COVID, 2021 was out.
Would have been nice. Yeah, we have had this in place back
So
then.
we track home sales here, with the EDC, and I send a letter. A welcome letter to every new homeowner, and so I go to the conveyance tax folder every month and write down all the new, so I see all of these transactions and the amount of the tax that was paid.
it a percentage or how is it?
It is, and there's a, something up to 800,000 and then something over 800,000, so it's slightly progressive, but I have to look at that, don't quote me on that. But,
So Michelle, where to find?
well,
this
so
info?
that folder is in the town clerk's office, but I don't know if they've got the total, I don't know if that would be the assessor or the tax collector,
Okay,
so we'll find
but
out.
they're all in the same place.
The folder is there, but I don't think we would probably have to manually enter all that. Tax collector or the assessor probably has that. Actually, all those records are on the assessor's website too. You can, and they're public records, so you can go and see that. But just for reference, in 2021, 10 to 14 homes were being sold a month, and we're down to like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we missed a big year that.
Yeah.
21, but it's still. Yeah, it's still certainly a method.
Okay, is there anything anybody else wants to bring up? No? Motion to adjourn?
Moved. I move.
Okay, Charlie, second, Shane. We are adjourned at 6:22.
Bye.
Reach out to me anytime during the month too, if you have questions or suggestions, or you want me to do something, please.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Charlie.
Did you ask me if I wanted to?
I did before.
No, and then no. And then as you were talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said,